think I neglected to mention at the start of Mass, for those who might not know me, I am Father Stephen, and I'm the assistant priest here at St Mary's Cathedral. Though you wouldn't have seen me for the first 5 weeks as I've been doing supply elsewhere, but I feel myself very blessed to be able to come and celebrate Mass with you today. Today we are here to celebrate, and we give great glory to the Trinity, that most holy of mysteries. And it's something that we use every day. I don't know about you, but I can't quite keep count of how many times throughout the day I might simply go in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. It's one of the shortest of prayers. Of course, as the old joke goes, the shortest prayer to God being help. But the sign of the cross certainly comes pretty close. But it is a mystery. We are created by God in His image and likeness, yet God is so far above us that it would be impossible for us to truly understand what He is. We are given a little bit of help, though. In the letter to St. James, he tells us that God is love. Not that God does love and things, He does. For He so loved the world, He sent His only Son. But by His very nature, God is love. That's an incredible thing. I spent Thursday down at the wharf at the Mac 2 building. Catholic Education had a career expo on. And so we had all the students in grade 9, 10, 11 and 12 come through, and there was all these different booths set up for Microsoft, for the Defence Force, for police, for Catholic care, for Catholic education, Blue Laundry. It's so many. And it gave these young people an opportunity to walk through and maybe think about what it is that they're going to do with the rest of their life. I set up a little booth for the vocation office. I wasn't exactly expecting that I might be finding any priests or religious that very day, but you never know. But one thing I was assured that we should do is to at least help them to know the word vocation. It's a word that kind of has dropped out of our vocabulary, and it's an important word. And as I'm the vocations director for the Archdiocese of Hobart, I kind of have to talk on it every now and again. But the reason why it's so important is because a vocation, from the Latin vocare, is to be called, is to call. And so God calls us into many things in our life, and it's on us to answer that call. Now, in the Catholic Church, the vocations to the priesthood, to the religious life, to married life, to single life, to the permanent diaconate, these are all things that God calls us to. But there are vocations in the secular life as well. Some great examples being teachers, nurses, doctors, all things that when someone gives their life for others, sacrifices of themselves for others. And so if you were to ask a teacher what they do, they wouldn't say, I work as a teacher. They would say, I am a teacher. If you ask a priest or religious what they do, they wouldn't say, well, I work as a priest. They would say, I am a priest. I am a religious sister or a brother or a nun. It becomes a part of who they are. Not what they do, but who they are. And so today, as we talk about the Trinity, we are looking at what it is that God is. God is love. And we see no greater example of it than in the Trinity. G.K. Chesterton, I should say, once put it, the Trinity is just a fancier way of saying that God is love. Is in the very designation of God as love that we discover our true calling. We are called to love. Now we know this because of the unity in the Trinity, the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. I'm borrowing a little bit of this from Bishop Robert Barron, and if you'd love to go deeper in the Trinity, it's a great video on YouTube. I recommend look. A lot of his videos are fantastic. But he talks about it, that in that unity there must be the lover, the Father, the beloved, the Son, and their love shared, the Holy Spirit. That same unity, that same Trinity that was there at the very creation, the first of the greatest of miracles, when God created the world. God spoke, the Father spoke his word, the Son, and breathed his Spirit, the Holy Spirit. It is in that same creation that Jesus told his disciples that same great love. He told his disciples to go out and baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, to bring them into that unity. Because in baptism, we are given new life. Just as God created and brought the world and everything into existence, so in our baptism, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, he brings us into life with him. And today we celebrate that great miracle. We celebrate that great relationship. But there is a difference, and I think it's an important one, between unity and uniformity. If I can quote Pope Francis, unity does not imply uniformity. It does not necessarily mean doing everything together or thinking in the same way, nor does it signify a loss of identity. Unity is diversity. It involves the joyful recognition and acceptance of the various gifts which the Holy Spirit gives to each one, and the placing of these gifts at the service of all members of the Church. We live in a world where God calls us into unity, not to all think and say and do the exact same thing, but to recognise the many gifts that we are given through the Spirit and to bring them into service in the Church and to the world. Nor does it signify a loss of identity. In that Trinity, the Father does not lessen because of the Son. The Son is not washed away because of the Father, and the Holy Spirit is not lost. Each, three persons, individual, and yet one substance, one Godhead. As we celebrate this Mass today, as we focus on those words of St. Paul to the Romans, the Spirit you received is not the spirit of slaves, bringing fear into your lives again. It is the Spirit of sons, and it makes us cry out, Abba, Father. Through the Spirit, we become brothers and sisters to Christ, sons and daughters to God. Through our baptism, we are welcomed into that family. And so as we celebrate this Mass today, let us give thanks for that great gift. Let us give thanks that we are welcomed into the mystery of the Holy Trinity, the most Holy Trinity. A mystery that we may never truly understand, but that's not a bad thing. I know we live in a world where it's deemed important that we understand every little thing, and I generally like to know how everything works. But it's in that mystery in which miracles work. It's in that mystery in which the greatest love the world has ever known, that which is God himself, itself, we find hope, we find joy. St. John Paul II said, a great mystery, a mystery of love, an ineffable mystery, before which words must give way to the silence of wonder and worship. A divine mystery that challenges and involves us because a share in the Trinitarian life was given to us through grace, through the redemptive incarnation of the Word and the gift of the Holy Spirit. Let us allow ourselves to become lost in that mystery, to be enveloped in that mystery, strengthened by it, given grace by it. And may we take that grace and share it with the world.